Welcome to today's video. Today we're going to be talking about stories. So first, let's go to our student book page 13. Choose two of the pictures over here and write 2 to 3 sentences describing the pictures you chose. Remember to have this ready before class because we're going to use them during an activity. Okay, perfect. Now, think about which of these stories you would like to hear. Maybe the grandpa talking to his grandson, the girls who are laughing, the person who had an accident, or the couple that is fighting. In my case, I would like to know what the girls are talking about. Okay, let's listen to a story and let's find out if this experience was a positive or a negative one. I had always dreamed of visiting Japan. Luckily, 2 years ago, I saved enough money and was able to buy a plane ticket at a low price. Surprisingly, there weren't many passengers in my flight, and I had the entire row for myself. I had to take a connection flight in the US. Once we landed, I walked directly to customs. Amazingly, there was no line. It was my lucky day. I asked the receptionist if I could take food with me during the flight, and she asked for my plane ticket. She checked it twice before telling me that I was in the wrong terminal and that I was going to miss my plane. Unfortunately, my plane was leaving in just 10 minutes, and it was almost impossible for me to catch it by then. I started running when suddenly an airport worker passed by driving a small car. I asked him if he could take me closer to my terminal, and fortunately, he said yes. Amazingly, I just got in time to take my plane to Japan. There, the plane had a movie on, but sadly, it didn't have subtitles, so I couldn't understand much of it. So would you say this was a positive or a negative experience? In general, it was positive but a little stressful, right? Okay, great. So, right now we're going to go to our student book page 14, exercise 1A. We need to match the pictures and the sentences for story number 1 and for story number 2. Pause the video while you work on this, then come back to listen and check on the answers. Okay? Perfect. So, let's go ahead and listen.
1. Sadly, my cat disappeared last year.
2,
Amazingly, she came home last night.
3,
Strangely, she had on a little sweater.
4,
Fortunately, she was very healthy.
5,
Unfortunately, I lost my wallet yesterday.
6,
Suddenly, I realized I didn't have it.
7,
Luckily, someone found it.
8,
Surprisingly, she brought it to my home.
Okay, guys, did you have the same? Excellent. Now, let's read the stories again and think about what the words in pink are expressing. Sadly, my cat disappeared last year. Amazingly, she came home last night. Strangely, she had on a little sweater. Fortunately, she was very healthy. Unfortunately, I lost my wallet yesterday. Suddenly, I realized I didn't have it. Luckily, someone found it. Surprisingly, she brought it to my home. If you notice, the words in pink are helping us tell the story. They are expressing the way we feel about what we are telling. Now, these are called adverbs, and if you notice, all of them ends in ly. Please notice that when we use an adverb in the beginning of the sentence, we're going to use a comma after it. Now, I want you to please think about this. Are these adverbs positive, negative, or neutral? For example, if I say amazingly, that's going to be a positive adverb. Now pause the video and work on the rest, please. Okay? Perfect. Let's go ahead and check. So, fortunately is also a positive adverb, and also luckily. Then we have sadly and for a negative, strangely for neutral, suddenly for neutral, and surprisingly also for neutral. Unfortunately would be another negative adverb. Now if you notice, strangely, suddenly, and surprisingly could be both positive and negative depending on what we're saying. Suddenly, I realized I didn't have my wallet. That would be something negative. But I could say, suddenly, I saw my boyfriend coming with some flowers. That would be something positive, right? Okay, great. So let's go ahead and practice. Please go to your workbook page 9, exercise number 1. Here, we're going to put the letters in the correct order to make adverbs. We need to complete the sentences. Let's take a look at number 1. I was having a great day on Tuesday. Then, unfortunately, I left my bag at a restaurant. 2. Luckily, someone found it. Pause the video while you work on the rest. Please complete number 3. Now, 4 and 5. And now, 6, 7, and 8. Remember, we're going to check this exercise during our class. Okay? Perfect. Now, I want you to please help me complete the sentences. Luckily or unfortunately, I crashed my car last week. Yeah, we should say unfortunately, right? Pause the video while you work on the rest, please. Okay? Perfect. Let's check. Surprisingly, I didn't scratch it at all. I was driving when suddenly I got a call from my boss. Okay? Great. Now, let's write the correct adverb in each sentence. For example, my friend lost her phone at a party. The next day, someone found it under the sofa and gave it to her. Should we say sadly, luckily, surprisingly, or strangely? We're going to check during our class. Finally, think about something that has happened to you lately. Please write down 2 or 3 sentences using adverbs. We're going to use them during our class, okay? I will see you then. Goodbye!